Morning, afternoon, whatever time you might be watching this. Welcome to Weighted to Win. I hope you're all very well and in good spirits as we move on to our Wednesday race meeting. And I can tell you on Wednesday, as far as turf and teen is concerned, it rained around the area, I can tell you that much. So keep, your eyes on the press as to what happens with Thursday. Obviously, we're holding thumbs that all goes well. You're reminded about our social media, our Twitter account, @Waited2Win's our handle. Please follow us. And we'll ask admin to try and follow you back. And also, we've got a WhatsApp number as well. Isn't she Bonnie's odds-on favourite to win the first trades at 5-10? I see a message from the Hollywood Bet Syndicate through their courtesy transparency emails that they send out that this horse hasn't been around the bend before, and but they like it very much. Seems very strong from what I read. How's she on form?
Clyde, this isn't the strongest of lineups, so she does come into this race as the right one on paper.
Good.
Clyde, I like what I've seen to date. She's a solid daughter of Karari, and I think the time off would have given her a chance to strengthen up and fill that frame. So I think she's going to be a different proposition after the rest than what we've seen to date. So I'll make it very hard to beat. What does the syndicate say? She's in a good space.
Good Josh as well.
Nicely.
They're expecting a massive run. And they're hardly wrong. When they put their heads down, they win.
We saw the second place runner winning the Western Cape, Clyde, and the fourth place runner was 4 lengths back, so they were well clear of the balance of the field.
She won a run later, the second horse.
Yes, you're not going to...
Not immediately off that form line. No. That form line's dead, eh?
Yeah, it is.
The only runner that hasn't isn't she Bonnie. Everything else has run and nothing else has won. That's a worry. I believe in those things, but I mean, if you say the field's not strong, then I suppose...
Karniska and what's the other one, Clyde? County Kildare. Not much separating the two of them on form. They are exposed and limited. I'm actually going to say the exacta proposition is number 1, French Princess. That stable, Clyde, is firing. Duncan Els.
Come well now.
And the jockey, who's riding her?
At the moment, Sean Veal is riding unbelievably well.
So let's tip them 5.
Couldn't win the last for us to have a 5-timer the other day, Monday. Anyway, on that note, sad in a way that Dennis Dreyer has turned it up, eh? I mean, he was such a doyen of the KwaZulu-Natal. Led the way for a very long time. And if you're watching Mr. Dreyer, we wish you everything of the best. And thank you very much for everything that you did for horse racing. The dynasty of the Laird family is what Dennis Dreyer, of course, is a part of. And we wish him and Jill and everybody everything of the best. Okay. What's the story? We've got a buy pot up for you. So here we go. We're going banker 5 from Daryl's side. Daryl, so you've got a couple of early bankers, right?
Yes, and I bankered in the second leg, number 2, Clyde. So we've gone light in the beginning, and hopefully we can get it right this time round.
We're on to the second race. Note that this morning at 10 o'clock, Wednesday morning, 1 and 5, both taken out. So you're left with just 5 runners that are going to go to the gate here. In terms of the market, let me give you an update on that at 10 o'clock this morning. Number 2, Bay Breeze, 5-2. Number 7, Q for You is 5-2 joint favourites, and the 6 top 10, 33-10. They're all quoted because you can get 11-2 about the other 2, but Bay Breeze is your bipod banker from what we saw earlier.
Clyde, on paper, this filly could be the best bets on the card.
Okay, tell us why.
I'll tell you why. Have a look at Q for You and top 10. In the later start, very little separating the two of them, am I right?
Correct.
Now go back to the 14th of December, Clyde. Bay Breeze beat top 10 by 4 lengths. So therefore, on a line through top 10, she's got the beating of Q for You.
Sure.
So I think she's the right one on paper. You can see she was as high as a 76, came down to a 60, only got a 3 pound or 1.5 kilogram penalty for her latest victory. I think this race is going to pan out well for her. The form line has been franked with Dance Me Lord winning from there.
I see that.
Also family favourite indirectly. So if she can, I'm hoping Q for You jumps this time so that Bay Breeze can just get a nice toe through. Sit up second, I expect her to win, Clyde.
Nice to see some of that form line you're talking about, Bay Breeze, that, further down the page.
A lot of placings.
A lot of placings. Seconds come from 10th, 11th, 12th position that come out to run second. That's obviously...
Isn't this Deez's filly, Clyde?
Who?
Dee's Diamond.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good man, Dee's Dynant. I hope it wins for Dee's. But, well, if it's Dee's Dynant, the 5-2 is not going to last. I can tell you that.
Oh, well, they have to get on the
They're
phone.
going to climb in. But is it? Yeah, I see it's easy to back. Why? If you're making it a good thing, why is it so easy to
I
back?
don't know. Maybe they didn't spot that form line.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get into this horse, Bay Breeze. So say the boys. All right, Dee's. Let's see. You better get in before us. Bank at 2, by 4 and 6, by 6 and 8, by 5, 8, 9, by 1, 2, 8, by 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. And Daryl's bankering number 4 at the back. Maiden class field, normally in a maiden race, you often seem to find a winner relatively more easier than in a handicap, and we'll talk to Daryl about that. This is over the mile. It's on the poly, of course, take out 3. I can tell you that from a betting perspective, that Kitty's Boy Girl, number 6 on the card, is trading at 5-2. Number 8, Trip to Nebraska, at 9-2. And then you've got the 2 Mythical Tune at 13-2. What have you made of this maiden play, Daryl?
Clyde, I think Kitty Boy's Girl's the right one. I don't think she's going to shorten in the market. But, in a later start, Clyde, when she returned from a rest, she was over-racing. So she's much better than that effort. I see they've opted to take the blinkers off this time round. And she's back on the poly, Clyde. Her penultimate start was on the poly. It was in a maiden handicap. She carried 60 kilograms on that occasion. Carrying top weight in a maiden handicap is always a difficult task. 3 runs back, Zinekile come out to win 3. Well, she's now a 3-time winner. The 3rd and the 4th have also won from there. So I think she definitely brings the strongest form into the race. Healthy respect for her. My second pick, I'm going to go with number 4, Rowan's Dream. I watched her later start. She was a bit detached at the back of the field. I know I've Got Wings has got her beaten on that run, but I think she's got a chance of reversing that form because she was too far out of her ground. From a decent draw, she should be closer to the pace. So I'm going to say 6 from 4. Respect for the 5, I've Got Wings, who since she's been stepped up to a mile, she's run consistently. And then if you want to go further than that, number 2, Mythical Tune, just based on that stable, they're in cracking form. She's on the poly now, I think for the first time. So let's see how she goes. So 6, 4, 5, 2.
6, 4, 5. I see that you've, with a reference with Rowan's Dream, that was Gelsomnia that came out from there. The
Yes,
third horse,
that's correct.
That won. Second horse ran a play, so that's fair form. I see Monday they weren't coming down Anton Marcus's lane that we referred to, the Anton Marcus, what do we call it? The Anton Marcus strip, which is when you turn for home, 3 off the outside, right? You turn for home, you go 3 off the outside. That's where Anton Marcus won 90% of his races on the poly, right? I did see they didn't do much of that on Monday.
When the poly's wet like it was?
Well, maybe it changes. You could be right. Okay, well, let's get what is this, pick 6? Here's Daryl Marie's pick 6. Not like Daryl Marie to tip one, but he's tipped one. And this is what it looks like. You can see horses. And who are you bankering at the back there?
I'm bankering Crested Eagle, the 5-1 shot, Clyde.
Is that a good thing?
Let's hope so.
Okay, well, it's 5-1. Let me have a look. No, it's not. It's 11-2, my son. It's 15, but you're bankering it.
Yep.
Okay, that's the pick 6 for the Hollywood Bets Gravel Poly today. On to race number 4 now. First leg of the pot over the mile. And here we've got Nadine Kadame, Keegan DeMello, Darren Burrows on the show. I'm sure he would go for Princess Joe in a big way. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today. But Princess Joe currently 16-10. Daryl? Shorten, drift, what do you think is going to happen there?
If I had to say right now, I'd say she'd trade around about 18-10, Clyde. But interesting filly, this, Clyde. Second start, when she won her maiden, she bolted up on that occasion. She went to the front, right?
Correct.
Never in doubt, I know. Excuse me, Clyde. I know that it wasn't the strongest of fields on that occasion, but the fact remains that she went to the front. So she is capable.
Right.
Then in her 2 handicap starts, she was given a chance. She was tucked in. I think she's a bit one-paced. I've got a feeling they're going to change those tactics and let her go handy this time around. And I can certainly see her notching up another victory. So healthy respect for Princess.
So you're hoping that she's up there?
I hope
you don't
she's
want
up
her to be
there.
tucked in.
Yeah, especially not on a fast polytrack run race, Clyde. So I've got healthy respect for her. She's beaten Belle Starduster in her later starts. But now, take note, Musie's not riding, am I right?
Yes.
So the Princess...
I saw there was a press release out about this incident with the two riders that everybody's talking about that unfortunately happened in the weighing room. It was at Greyville on Monday. And the NHF sent out a statement to say that both riders have been, well, suspended for the interim until this inquiry is heard. And once the decision's taken, the inquiry will be heard as soon as possible. And I suppose whatever action they take, they'll reverse, whatever time is served in that process. Yeah, but he's not. To answer your question, he's not right.
Yes, so no. Strictly on paper, there's not going to be much separating Princess Jo and Belle Stardust on that run. But like I say, Princess Jo, I'm hoping she pushes forward this time around. Clyde, number 6, Lady Macbeth, catches my eye. Because on that run to Mvulazana, there's very little separating herself and Princess Jo. But she wore blinkers on that occasion, Clyde. And I watched the race. I watched the replay. She was pulling terribly. I think Lady Macbeth is better than that start.
Blinkers off now?
The blinkers are off. So I'm going to say Lady Macbeth ahead of Princess Jo, Belle Stardust in third. I've only gone with the 6 and the 8.
All right, interesting. So Daryl looking for Lady Macbeth to topple Princess Jo today. Let's get on to our jackpot, race number 4. And from Daryl's side, you heard him say he's only going with the 2 of them, 6 and 8. And then he's loaded up the other 3 legs. Right, welcome back. Waited to win race 5. We're on to now. It will be run over the 1,700 metres on the Poly out at Hollywood Beds Greyville. Our social media followers, please follow us on Twitter. We do have an account at Waited to Win's our handle, and we've got that WhatsApp number for you to follow as well. All right, they bet around 5 to 1 the field. Lulu the Legend, top of the boards at the moment at 10 o'clock this morning. Number 8, around 5 to 1. The confirmed through the syndicate that the horse as well. Keegan and Miller now back on, and they're expecting this horse to run in the finish. You can get 6 or 7 to 1 and better about the others. The interesting thing here, Daryl, has been not shrewd support, but what has shortened is the 9 Tom's Act.
Yes.
And the other one that shortened, I see here now, is Majestic Power. Not by much, by a margin. But they've shortened, so it's worth noting.
Tom's Act actually forms part of my top 3 selections.
Okay.
Last time out, he was out at the weights. Prior to that, he's got consistent form close up. Tristan Godden gets the ride this time around. I've got healthy respect for him. Lulu the Legend, you touch on that, Clyde. The syndicate comment is he has improved and should be involved in the finish.
Yeah.
He's having his peak run now. Only tired very late in his second run after a rest. Number 5, Clyde, Exceed Expectation. Look at that trainer. Tell me what happened with that first race favourite.
On Monday.
Monday.
Well, yeah, from what we saw, they played up and wasn't settled, and played up again, wasn't settled, and then got into the stall and just didn't seem well. And you could see he broke out into a sweat. So he wasn't, he wasn't himself.
But I'd like to know, was the commentator seeing something? I mean, he said the horse hit his head and then kicked the stalls. I mean, those were his words, Clyde.
Yeah. I haven't actually read the Stripes report on that, to be honest, so I can't answer those questions right now. But yes, that's quite right. Those are the facts.
Yeah.
In terms of what was said.
Well, this horse, last time out, he looked very, very dangerous. Now he's going to strip fitter. Clyde is 2.5 kilograms better with Raven Sword, so I'm expecting him to reverse that form. Definitely has to go into all perms. Nice little roughie that you might want to include in trifectas and quartets, Clyde. This number 7, American Dream. Have a look at his rating, down to 63 now. I think if he gets into the race early, he could be the upset material. But I like the look of Tom Zach, Lulu the Legend, Exceed Expectations.
Yeah. And there's one other I've mentioned that they're backing in the race, eh?
Majestic Power.
Yeah.
I got the distance, not 100%.
I don't mind Cole Dickin. I've told you before, he's not bad.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get into jackpot 2. Let's take a look at that. Thank you. Let's put that up, Ricky. 15789 by 1248 by 12578. And you've heard by now that Daryl's bankering the 4 at the back. Okay, guys, good. Welcome back to us. We're talking now about race number 6. It's a handicap at the 94 level. It's a sprint over 1,000 meters. The 9 at 10 o'clock this morning taken out is not running. From a market perspective, let me give you an update on what the latest is. They've got this horse top of the board's rulership number 8 on the card, 5-2. 4 Goliath Heron is 9-2. 9-2 Hooves of Troy, number 1 on the card, and then 5-1 about the 5. It's about time. 10-1 bar those forward. Is the rest between the 4 of them?
What price is number 4 then, Clyde? Goliath Heron.
Goliath is 9-2.
Oh, so bar 4 or 5?
Bar those 4. So it's rulership, Goliath Heron, Hooves of Troy. It's about time in the top 4. They're betting 10-1.
Winter Baron, has it been scratched?
10-1. No, it's 10-1.
Okay.
We like a bit of that.
You know, rulership, since his return from that layoff, he's been very, very impressive. He's having his peak run now. Strictly on paper, Clyde, go to his penultimate start. He's 4 kilograms worse off with Hooves of Troy, who scored last time out, and hopefully his confidence is a bit up. So I think there's more value in the 9-2 Hooves of Troy than the current favourite. Winter Baron, he travelled sweetly in his last start. I thought he's actually going to run on and be competitive. He just didn't finish that effort off. He now tries the poly track. If he can just slot in behind Hooves of Troy, I think he could be a player over here. And then rulership, you can see for yourself, is in cracking form. The comment with regards to Goliath Heron, he's in a competitive field, but he's got an each-way chance. I'm actually going to favour Hooves of Troy over rulership, Clyde.
Okay, Hooves of Troy, Darryl's first choice in the race, and that's trading at round 4s at this point in time for Wendy Whitehead. Keegan Namella in the saddle, and we've got a trifecta that Darryl's worked out for you. This is what he suggests you do. You take it boxed, all of 1, 2, 4, and 8. Okay, on to race number 7 now. And yeah, Halabos tops the boards at 7-2, the 8 on the card. 2 Quizmaster, 9-2, 5-1 about number 5, Baku Mali. And then 15-2 about the 3 Global Secret. And you get 8-1, the 1 Final Destiny. And even 8-1 about 5 Brave Voyager. So there are quite a number of horses that have already been quoted in the market here. See that the 4's not taking part, not running. It's a 1400. Darryl, is it one of the tougher races on the card?
I think I put 5 horses in my place accumulator, so it is very tough, Clyde. If I had to single the top pick, possibly number 1, Final Destination. Now, I know it's been, excuse me, over a year, Clyde, since he was last in the winner's enclosure. But have a look at the positives, Clyde. He's right down to a rating of 51. He was as high as a 73.
Right.
In his latest 2 starts, bad draws. He now cracks a decent draw. He's got spare Schlangway in the irons, who's very capable of his current claim of 2.5 kilograms. He's worth that. I just hope he's able to have the pace to hold his position, because you don't want to be caught far back on the rail. It makes your task so much harder. So if he's in contention turning for home, I can see him a winning event like this. Quizmaster, last time out, you recall that race, he looked home and hosed.
Yeah.
Just came up for air that last 20 meters. Same rating, same course and distance. A neat draw, he has to be a player. Halabos, very competitive of his current rating, Clyde. Paka Mali, I think he could be our distance suited. Last time out in the mile, just didn't see it out.
And the syndicate giving it a chance, aren't they?
Yes.
Comments, yeah.
So a very, very tricky event, Clyde. Like I say, Final Destination, my topic, but I've got 5 in the PA. So.
All right, hard race. So this is where the bomb could drop, basically. So watch out, a handicap at the 64 level. A trifecta has been worked out for you, and this is what Darryl recommends that you do. Is the 5 horses that he's put in his PA, 1, 2, 5, 7, and 8. But it doesn't end there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for the last time today. Hollywood Bets Grayville, and the 8th has run over the 1,400 meters. It's a handicap. Here it's at the 87 level. This is where Crested Eagle runs. Daryl's been talking about that for most of the day. And, well, interestingly enough, from a market perspective, I'll give you an update on current price. This also was drifting the last time I had a look, and still the case. Well, was open 5 to 1, 11 to 2 now, number 4. Favourite the 5, Patronage at 5 to 1. 12, Ralph the Rascal is 6 to 1. 6 to 1 about the 6, Desolate Road. And 6 to 1, number 7, Maximus. And then 10 to 1 and better about the others. But I would imagine now that you are labelling, well, when I say labelling, you know, this is your banker, that this also is going to shorten.
Yeah, Clyde,
close to race
can
time.
you do us a favour? Maybe you can get Warren Lenferner on the line before this race is run and get Rachel's opinion. Now, obviously, she has to ride for Mace. And she's ridden Crested Eagle to victory in his later start.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get her feeling. Would
Yeah,
you have
valid
preferred to
point.
ride Crested Eagle? Or is she happy with Patronage? I don't know. One thing I can say, Clyde, this horse is in a very good space currently. In his penultimate start, Crested Eagle was desperately unlucky. He should have gotten very close to winning. Last time out, they slapped the cheek pieces on. Never in doubt. I don't think a 2.5 kilogram penalty is going to stop him. I expect him to go back-to-back. And I actually think 11.2 does represent each-way value. So if you're looking past him, Clyde, I think it's a field event. Take your chances. Have an each-way bet on number 4.
The comment from the Hollywood Bets guys, the 2 of their horses, 1 and what's the other one, the 12, eh? Am I right?
Yeah.
The 12. Yeah, Ralph the Rascal. Well, they're expecting to be involved in the finish, not labelling them in any way, but they say expected to be involved in the finish. So then I'm quite bullish with you about Crested Eagle, if that is the case. We'll try and ask Warren Lanferner to get hold of Rachel for us and get an idea, and we can get a comment out early enough as to which one she would have preferred. You're saying she has to ride for Mace. I mean, there is no
Absolutely, especially
leeway there. Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, that's it. You know the inside already. This is what's going to come up on your screen now. Let's have a look. And it's straightforward as we predict.
Clyde, we haven't touched on the jock, Jason Gates.
Yes, our jock. Happy with that? You happy with that?
I'm happy.
All right. So 11 to 2 at 10 o'clock this morning.